We need to talk about the conservatives on Grindr.
I don't care. I've always said this. Half this country's bisexual.
My favorite story is that you got a cease and desist from Beyoncé.
Oh, yes, I did. My hope is for young people is that they take more control of their own narrative in their life. I'm not gonna let anyone stop me from becoming the best version of myself. I know what my ancestors went through. I know what my papa went through. I know there's a big ass tree out in your front yard. More than likely have my little cousin swinging from it.
Amir,
Hello.
thanks for coming on the show.
It's alright. I'm so glad to be here.
It's very different than my last interview, we were just saying. But that's what I kind of wanted. I wanted to shoot the shit with you. How is your YouTube channel going? You're crushing it.
Thank you.
You're amazing.
It's insane. We just crossed, I think, 550,000 subscribers, which is just
so proud of you.
mind-blowing to me. It's unreal. I'm just so grateful for the support out there and just to be able to share my opinion, and it's heard and it's respected and it's very fun.
And I love the fact that you, for people who don't know Amir's story, you blew up on YouTube first, right? Like back in 2020 for your video, like, I'm a black gay man, this is why I don't fear the police.
Instagram.
I thought that you made a viral YouTube video too.
It was all Instagram. I did make some YouTube videos, but then I just took them down because it was just, But mainly went viral on Instagram.
Okay. For some reason I thought that it was YouTube and then that you like came back to YouTube. But no, you were always huge on Instagram. That's how I found you.
Yeah, through Instagram. And then March of 2023 when I posted my problems with the gay community. And 3 days later, it hit 1.5 million views.
It's crazy.
40K subs, and I have not let my foot off the gas since. It's terrifying, but I mean, it's rewarding. It's fun.
The best thing is like texting you, and it'll be, an ungodly hour of the night or an like ungodly, hour of the morning, and you're up editing the video that you shot the night before. You literally do everything yourself.
Everything. And I have some help that I can like go get, but I don't know. It just always ends up me just doing it. Just late at night.
What has that process been like? Diving into something that you like, this wasn't a career for you. Before this, you were working in
marketing at a mortgage company.
Yeah, completely different. And you've had to teach yourself all of this.
It's been fun. Because at the end of the day, I thoroughly enjoy marketing. I love the editing. I don't mind listening to myself and putting the pieces together because it's so much fun just knowing that I'm having a sort of impact on our world.
Yeah.
Because it is getting a little crazy out there. And in terms of sharing my views on all topics and generational issues, but specifically Black and gay issues, it's rewarding because I know that it's just being received in such a good light. I don't know. As long as I'm enjoying it, I'm always going to have fun with it. So like from the editing to the scripting to the just cutting on the camera, just talking, every little bit of it is just so much fun.
I love it, and I'm so proud of you. I do think, since you brought up the Black and gay community, we need to talk. We need to talk about the conservatives on Grindr.
Oh my god!
This is an insane thing that Amir tells me about, and I was like, we finally need to sit down and talk about it. So we go to like,
various events,
conferences, whatever. Amir's favorite thing to do is don't you like a burner Grindr account or something?
We'll like go on Grindr and just like look at all the empty profiles of people like trying to hook up with other guys.
At these conservative events.
Everyone's gay.
It's dramatic.
I promise you. I don't care. I've always said this. Half this country's bisexual. I don't care. Half of this country
everybody
is bisexual. Like, I don't know how else to put it. Like, no one else has that data other than gay men. Like, gay men know out there's lots of straights doing things on the down low. And you can see that in the apps. Like, you can download any app. You can go to any rich neighborhood, any conservative town, conservative conference. It does not matter. You can go on any gay app. You're going to see blank profiles of a bunch of husbands out there just having fun on the side.
Which just feeds into this whole, hypocritical, I don't know why I said it that way, but the hypocritical nature of so many people in this movement, which I feel like is just on full display right now.
Yeah.
And it's like people are free to do whatever they want in their life, and more power to you. You have the freedom as a consenting adult to do whatever you want with your life. But it's ridiculous to espout one thing online, and then not only to espout it, but to shame people for something, and then you're doing it on the down low.
That's the biggest frustration from, I've always said that trans women have more balls than conservative men.
Yeah.
Because at least trans women, they're trans women, you know how they feel, you know what they want, you know what they're doing. Conservative men, you have no idea what they're doing, how they really feel, their inner thoughts, it's all just a big mystery. And that's what, that goes into the gay topic of, more people are identifying as gay. And I do think that sometimes gay can be kind of like a social contagion and it's being spread. But from my perspective,
especially for girls.
Yeah.
especially for girls.
Like, from my perspective, it's just you're also seeing the decline of men cheating on their wives with other men. You're also seeing a decline of people just living their life in the closet. I think it is just a mix of, like, some people are, like, just doing it for clout. I think a lot of the issue why a lot of people are becoming more gay because it's just fine to be gay.
Yeah.
More people are just okay just admitting that, but at least not on the conservative side. Because, again, all these blank profiles and everybody out there just doing it, it is insane.
Yeah, it's the saying one thing and doing another. Did you see the whole Patriarchy Hannah scandal on X?
No.
Okay, so this is like not the same thing, but sort of is. So there's this woman, and she went by Patriarchy Hannah on X, and she was a non-account, and she was like super trad, had this husband Tony. It was crazy. So like I was going through her account, and I was like, how do people believe that this is real? First of all, because she would always post about how her husband was this contractor, and they had bought an abandoned town somewhere in the middle of the country, and they had named it Tony Town because her husband's name is Tony. So they would joke about Tony Town, and Tony had this like tiny little Twitter account. But this woman, Patriarchy Hannah, was allegedly 37 years old with 14 kids that she had adopted, homeschooled all of them, being a good submitting.
Is this real?
Just wait. Like, submitting to her husband, Tony, living in Tony Town, where they had, like, moved their whole family. She also said that she had been sex trafficked as a child, had, like, survived lupus, I think, all of this stuff. So that's why they had adopted these 14 kids. So she would post about this all the time. She would be in Twitter spaces at, like, 3 a.m. And there were a few people who called out, like, this is kind of odd.
Yeah.
Like, you have 14 kids and you have time to be on a Twitter space at like 3 a.m.
It sounds like Elon.
Bit odd. Yeah.
Go on.
Somebody has time. But he's at least not spending time with any of his kids. This lady is like pretending like she's being some like homeschool mom. So all of this is happening. Meanwhile, she's shaming other women for not being as trad as her. And not just, this was not an account that would just post things like, this is what I believe, traditional marriage is. Because there are those accounts, I follow some of those, and it's like, they're frolicking in the fields in their sundresses, and sourdough, whatever, the trad aesthetic. That's fine. This woman would literally be in people's replies and quote tweeting them, kind of like Pearl-esque, but on the other side of the aisle, of like literally attacking women and shaming them and saying like, you're not Christian enough, you're not biblical enough, your husband must be disgusted of you, all of this stuff. And it created this whole like veil of shame. But she had also created this entire community. She had a Discord. Women would DM her and they would like become friends, and because she had said that she had been sex trafficked, all of this stuff, they would like
so dystopian.
They would open up to her, all of this stuff. She never shared a real photo of herself, and she would give people her phone number, but she would never get on FaceTime. And some people would be like, guys, again, like I was saying, like, this is kind of weird. Like, why? Like, this doesn't add up.
Right.
And everybody else in the trad community would be like, oh, you're jealous of her because she has it all together. Anyway, finally came crashing down this guy named Ryan Duffy, I believe, on X. Did a whole expose on Valentine's Day, exposing her. She has no kids. She's not married to Tony.
All fraudulent.
She lives with her parents. The photos that she posted of their home was various different pictures from different Zillow listings. The one photo that she did show somebody was from another woman's Facebook page. She lives with her parents and apparently has done different forms of like porn. And so she was like collecting like memberships from people and like giving all of this advice. And so the entire like trad community on right-wing Twitter, which just feels so dystopian of me to be like even saying that, like this niche community on right-wing Twitter broke apart. Like all hell broke loose because they were like, oh, how could somebody be saying one thing and doing the other? I'm
that's
like,
actually insane.
Yes.
And it speaks to so much more of, like you were saying, the hypocrisy of so many people, especially not like catered to the right, but a lot of people on the right who, say one thing online but do another thing on the side.
It's everywhere. It's obvious, like it's on the left as well. The left is hypocritical in nature. We've talked about that. And I think in attacking the left and calling out the left, we probably have ignored some of that on our own side.
Yeah.
And so I think there's kind of a reckoning with that, which is the same thing with like the Ashley St. Clair Elon pregnancy, which is a whole can of worms and a lot of different topics, but people were very quick to like pull up her old tweets where she was saying, I want to just have like a husband and 2 kids and live on a farm, and like talking about single motherhood and all this stuff.
And shaming people for like, having babies in broken homes and this, that, and the third. And
it's like unfortunate. And I feel for her because I think she's probably locked in some like insane deal with him, and she's dealing with like postpartum hormones, and I'm sure that she felt like stuck, so she did what she had to do. But it's also like sort of, didn't you know what you were?
She wanted this. She tweeted out talking about how.
Oh my God, yes. That she with Greg Price. She tweeted at Greg Price saying like, I need Elon's info so I can have his baby or something like that.
Yes. And then he was like, oh, well, he already has like a woman and kids, and she's like, well, she was like, well, he hops through women anyways. So you knew what you were getting into. It's like I wanted to feel bad, but then I can't. It's like you're a grown woman. You knew what you were getting into. It's apparent. You've been plotting this for years. Maybe it didn't turn out how she wanted. Maybe she wanted to like get married, get the bag, and have the kid at home.
Yeah.
I don't know why you would think that with a man with 14 children and 4
Yeah.
baby mamas. I don't know. I was telling you before how Elon is literally the quintessential African American dad. He's like my father, never came back with the milk, and he's just gone. He's gone from all his children's lives. It's so unfortunate.
And the other thing is, like, if you read the second New York Post article, which, first of all, everybody was saying, like, go ahead. I know.
I want this privacy. I'm not trying to shame this woman. I'm really not. I'm not trying to be shady. I'm not trying to, like, be mean. But, like, you can't sit here and say you want all this privacy, but then, like, you're doing, like, pieces with New York Post. It doesn't make sense.
That's why a lot of people were shaming her at the get-go from that first post. And I didn't feel that way at all. I was like, hey, if, people are hounding her and she wants to get it out there, I'm sure there's a lot of pressure, especially with this guy who's, like, so wealthy and so powerful and is apparently, like,
Fair.
not returning any calls, doing whatever. Like, what's going on? When it took a turn for me was when her PR person made a statement from his personal account.
Oh.
Did you see that?
No. Like,
in the same, like, Canva layout, made a post from his personal account.
This is ghetto. It's fitting, an African American family. This is.
It just, like, it got so weird, and then immediately the New York Post thing came out, and then there was a second New York Post one where she's like, she feels jilted for him not responding. I'm like, just make the post and just shut it down and walk away.
Walk away.
That's the, like, also with, like, apologies. Like, don't apologize for anything. Like, put out what you believe,
Either
say what you want, say it with your chest, and then just, like, walk away. No apologies.
Either put out what you want, say it with your chest, or, like, just don't say anything at all. Like Beyonce. She doesn't say anything.
Do we need to talk about Beyonce?
I mean,
how many country Beyonce tours are country?
Don't start. It's country enough that I haven't listened to it as much as the other albums.
Okay.
How many shows am I going to this year?
Yeah.
4.
Is that why you
4
bought
to
the
5.
cowboy boots you were texting me about?
Yeah.
Are you gonna wear the, like, Daisy Duke shorts, or are you gonna wear pants?
Yeah, assless chaps. You know the deal. No, not really. Just my boots and black jeans and a black shirt.
How many did you go to last year?
Like 6 shows.
Okay, for people who don't know, you're obsessed with Beyonce.
Yeah.
Could you give me your brief thesis for why you love Beyonce?
Why I love Beyonce is merely just because I grew up listening to her music.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. I just grew up listening to her music. There's videotapes of me. I have to find it for you. I'm like 3 years old.
Mm-hmm.
My mom's like, who's your wife? And I'm like, Beyonce. Like, it's just been a whole life thing. And, like, she has different songs that just mean so many different things.
Mm-hmm.
And I can listen to some songs and just break down crying. Like, you've seen, I just start crying listening to a
It's
song.
incredible. I think at some point you should have a full compilation of, like, Baby Amir, and then, like, you in the pit at all of her concerts, like,
just
twerking,
sobbing.
doing backflips, and then
Oh,
sobbing.
yeah, I do that too.
You do.
There's
It's like a spectrum of
there's,
full
like, lots of
tears
dancing.
and breakdowns and dancing.
Just my favorite artist. It's literally, you go in my car, it's 95% techno
Mm-hmm.
and EDM, and then 5% just straight Beyonce.
And that's it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have the tattoo.
Yeah, you have your Lemonade tattoo.
The best album.
My favorite story is that you got a cease and desist from Beyonce.
Oof, yes, I did. From Beyonce and Coachella, because
That's so impressive.
long story short, ran this like fan page website, and we would take her live audio performances and like recreate them and make them into live albums because she wasn't doing it. And
So somebody had to.
it was going fine.
Obviously.
It was going fine. But then we beat her to the punch with Homecoming, the album that's on Spotify right now. And yeah, we made it a year before, and we got hit with a cease and desist. Like, hey, cease all operations. Like, I appreciate you being a fan, but like, this needs to stop. And so we stopped it. And then a year later, she came out with the identical album. Which
But
I
I
mean, it's her
feel like
word, but
when you got that letter, I was like, does she know who I am?
yes. I was like, oh, okay. What's Miss Carter?
When did she call you out at the concert last summer?
That was Louisville, yeah. I was
Big
sitting there
moment.
sobbing. So all my friends, they've been on like 50, 60 plus shows.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's my favorite artist. I just love her so much.
I love it. It's like the best part of the Amir lore.
Yeah, that and
So good.
Jamal.
I know. You haven't brought Jamal out today. I thought you would with the Elon thing.
No, Jamal's gonna come out at some point.
I know. Well, going back to the Elon thing and the fatherlessness, the other thing that stuck out about the Ashley St. Clair was that while she was pregnant, and this makes me feel for her, but also I'm like, if you were, because I think they were actually in a relationship. Like, I don't think this was an IVF. Like, I think there was
actually,
based
like,
on
dating and together and
based on the like one of 5 New York Post articles that came out that I read. They like met through Babylon Bee. The night they met, he had like slid into her DMs. They were talking. Look at that face.
I'm just like, ew.
He's old. No offense to anybody who's in their 50s, but like sliding
But, like,
into a
exactly
somebody, 25-year-old's DM's 24 at the time,
half
I think.
your age.
Yes. But I mean, have you seen, what is his name? Is my husband here? Alex? Bill Belichick? Is that his name? Belichick. That is the former coach of the Patriots. Boom! God, I know sports. Sports. That's like the famous like Tom Brady era coach.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen, he's like 70 years old. Have you seen his girlfriend?
No.
Like,
Do I want to?
Yes. It's like a former, I think like NFL cheerleader or something like that.
She get in the bag. I ain't mad at it.
I know. So again, it's like, it's weird thinking about, but also people go for it. This is like a tale as old as time.
Yeah. The
So,
Hugh Hefner, Playboy, all that kind of stuff.
yeah, so do it, go after your bag, whatever. Just know what you're getting into. And this is not a man that is going to prioritize a nuclear family.
Mm-hmm.
He's never said that is something he prioritized. He wants to sow his seeds, sow the crops.
That's why I can't feel bad. Because
I know.
like how, at least maybe with the Bill, is his name Bill?
I'm pulling up a picture, don't worry.
The Bill dude, I don't know his backstory, but maybe that is what he wanted. Whereas with, oh my gosh.
Yes, sir.
Man, she
yes.
bad.
I know. She's like, I got that chick done. Anyway.
And maybe with Bill, it's probably clear that that's what he wanted.
Yeah.
But Elon is so public facing, it was clear that you weren't going to get a stable man.
No, he's trying to repopulate Mars. Obviously.
So I cannot feel bad.
Yeah.
Even if you thought it was going to be a relationship, and like, why would you trust this man?
Like, there was a whole, his first divorce, which, by the way, he married a woman, Justine Winter. She still goes by Musk. So Justine Musk, they have 5 kids together. One, I believe, passed away at like 2 weeks old, which I think really fractured their relationship, which is a really tragic story. But they were like college lovers. That was a weird way to say that. But like they fell in love in college, got married. They had a very, very public divorce. She wrote an entire op-ed about their divorce. And like apparently the famous line is that she was like crying or something. And she was like, I'm your wife. I'm not your employee. And he said, if you were my employee, I would fire you. And they got a divorce. So that's one part of it. And then Grimes, which like Grimes, they got married. I think they got married. Or they were engaged or something. There was some more commitment
that seemed like the most stable that he's had.
Yes. Or at least like going into it seemed so at the get-go. But throughout Ashley's pregnancy, Grimes has been tweeting at Elon. They've gone through this whole custody battle. She's had to deal with the same thing, has had to publicly tweet at Elon saying, Elon, let me see my son. This is like not appropriate. You're not responding to any calls. Her mother got involved. Grimes' mother was tweeting, yes, on Twitter. Like, you think Diana's crazy? Grimes' mother was like, I'm in it.
This blows my mind.
Like 2 months before Ashley gave birth.
If Musk was anybody else, I feel like conservatives and the right would be like shaming them nonstop.
Yes.
And
so that's why the response was to Ashley's post. And I understand that it was very nuanced. I'm not going to like comment on something and be like, this is like, you knew you were getting into whatever. Yeah. And a child is a blessing regardless. And I hope that the child is healthy.
Want nothing but for the best, but for that child.
Yes. And I hope that everything is resolved for her sake and for the child's sake. I hope that everything is great. I hope that they get the privacy that the child deserves and that her other, because Ashley has another child with, I think her ex-husband. So for both of those children, all I want is the best. I think that's what most people online want. But it was this weird thing where it was like, some people, it was very clear that they were just saying, hey, I'm glad you're okay. I had no idea that you were going through this. I hope you had a healthy pregnancy. You know, hope you're doing well. Hope the baby's okay. Congratulations. But then there were other people who were basically just like crawling up Elon's ass. Yeah. Because they didn't want to, like, they won't criticize him. And I think that you can, you should be able to pull out somebody's accomplishments and say, obviously, we both drive Teslas. Yeah. It's like, you are an amazing innovator. You have changed the course of mankind. Seriously. You are now intimately involved in our political system in a great way. In my opinion, Doge is like the best thing that Trump is doing. And has, I mean, it's like the libertarians' dream. It's like, it's brought everybody together, truly. And that is incredible, but you should be able to separate that and be like, okay, those things are great, but also we can criticize him for being like, this is not traditional. And this is not healthy.
I wish more people could do that. Yeah. Kind of separate, not so much the art from the artist, but just realize how much good Elon has done. Like, you can be upset at some of the things that he's doing in his personal life, sure. Yeah. But it reminds me of all the leftists that are just so angry at anyone driving a Tesla, doing all these crimes to Cybertrucks. But it's like, at the end of the day, you got to give credit where credit's due. Yeah. Is Elon the best person? No. However, when it comes to, I don't know, North Carolina having no internet, who's going in there giving them all internet?
It's amazing. It's incredible.
LA fires, who's going in there and giving all of LA free Wi-Fi?
Yeah, he's a humanitarian on so many levels and is, I think, in my opinion, is using science the way it should be used. I'm not a big fan, like the Neuralink stuff freaks me out.
No.
But in
we're not
terms
doing
of
that.
using the things that he has created that are moving humankind and technology forward, and that he's the first person there, he always beats the government. He is incredibly, incredibly generous with what he offers for free. Like, that's incredible. And so I think it's fine. It's good to say that, but you also, because of that, you don't need to like excuse his behavior as a father or say that it's like fine. Or those like the, you know, patriarchy bros or whatever you want to call them on X who are like, this is what a real man does. This like doesn't commit to a woman and sows a seed. I'm like,
that's disgusting.
they're like, it's Genghis Khan. Was Genghis Khan a good person?
That screams you're gay. That's what that screams. And you're over here like, oh, that's what a real man does, leave his woman. Because you probably want to be with other men. Like, you're literally
Is
just
this the new theory? Is Elon gay?
oof.
That's Amir. That's going to be my headline.
I mean, giving most of the kids through IVF.
But there's probably more, considering that, okay, based on the New York Post article, that he wanted his name taken off the birth certificate.
Oh.
So I think there are other ones.
I can't with this baby daddy drama. Baby daddy drama, baby mama drama. I just wish more people just acted sane, took care of their own lives, took care of their own mental health, took care of their families, and just progressed to a better world. Instead of
Profound.
and he says he wants to progress to a better world and repopulate the earth, but how are you gonna do that having 13 kids in all these broken ass homes?
Yeah, and money does not equate to a stable family. Money does not
No.
replace a father.
And you can easily have, you know, a mom and a dad, but not a mother and father in a home.
Yeah.
Hello.
We turned out okay.
Yeah, we bond on our family trauma.
Did you know that up to 80% of women experience hormone imbalance symptoms at some point in their lives, including reproductive cycle disruptions, metabolism changes, bloating and weight gain, mood swings, acne, and hair damage? Hormone imbalance is one of the most urgent women's health crises of our time. Millions are affected with conditions like PCOS on the rise, disrupting daily life for many women, especially among Gen Z and millennials. But not all women realize that the gut microbiome plays a foundational role in hormone regulation and its downstream effects. Taking a high-quality, clinically supported probiotic is a simple, effective, and affordable option for women seeking to help stabilize hormone imbalance. And that is why I am so excited to be partnered with Daily Nouri, because Daily Nouri is reshaping the conversation around the gut microbiome and this connection to hormone health with the unveiling of its first of its kind daily hormone balance probiotic. Each capsule contains a blend of 7 probiotic strains to support hormone regulation through improved estrogen metabolism. So women, if you are ready to take control of your hormone health, then go to dailynouri.com and use code BRETT25 for 25% off your first order. I've been taking their supplements for a few months now. I love them. I especially love their stress supplement in addition to this one. You guys are going to love it. Again, dailynouri.com. That is DAILYNOURI.com. BRETT25 at checkout for 25% off your first order. But no, I think that you're absolutely correct. And it's unfortunate that all of it is playing out publicly. I speak out of two sides of my mouth, and I always do this because it's like, it probably shouldn't be public. Yeah. But since it is, I'm going to fully enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy every single second of it, every single comment. I feel like Wendy Williams, which I also want to talk about. Wendy Williams, I feel like, was kind of before my time. So for people who don't know, she was this like daytime host, was like famous for like pop culture, but also like family drama.
Yeah.
It was like crazy tea. I was watching like Candace is all
almost
over
like a Joan
my TikTok.
Rivers, if you're familiar with
Yes.
her. Like a black Joan Rivers that was just like catty and messy, but like super popular.
Yes. And her show, she always had the craziest things on it. And like her favorite line was like, allegedly, there are things on, because she would say insane stuff that was like not confirmed at all. But there are
you don't
like
want to get
10-minute,
sued.
I know. There are like 10-minute compilations of her on YouTube. Allegedly. Yes. So that's Wendy Williams. She was put under a conservatorship and is locked in it's not a rehab place. It's like a brain.
A bougie jail?
Yes. In New York City. She has not left for over 30 days. Has not seen the sun. She had this business manager, I think. And I don't remember if it was her former one or there was a new person, but somebody was making purchases from her account on her behalf. Then
Someone was taking the money and spending everything.
Yes. And she also, some context that my good friend Candace phoned over to me is that, because she knows everything about all of the celebrity gossip, somehow, was that Wendy had gone through a divorce. It was apparently like very traumatic, and she had kind of, her life had devolved into drugs and alcoholism, and she was doing a lot of reckless spending. So apparently she was spending a lot, and then there was some other spending that was not accounted for.
Right.
And Wells Fargo, with the help of this new business manager that she had been assigned to, said this isn't normal. And they, including Wells Fargo, allegedly, put her in this conservatorship because of the way that she was spending her own money.
That's the part where my little ears, conspiracy ears go up. I don't know how that is allegedly real. I know it's real, but I don't know how.
But they have the power. They have the power. That's why so many conservatives have been freaked out for so long, rightfully so, like Bank of America, canceling.
They do have the power to do something.
Oh my gosh, yes. Remember the truckers in Canada, they like shut down the accounts.
See, I get that, but like, aren't you allowed to go broke?
So that's why it doesn't make sense.
Exactly. So I'm like, did she sign something? Was there a paper? Was it just like,
was she like
with our manager?
Yeah, the business manager,
like,
hey,
hey,
she have control?
If something happens to me mentally, like, you can go ahead and like take care of it. Like, if we're seeing so many celebrities like go broke, it's like, how did this one celebrity not go broke? What was signed? What was happened? What was done?
And how did they get put in the conservatorship? The other thing is that allegedly her son. Her son is apparently involved in this, and she's now called out her son for spending a bunch of money.
Spending $100,000 on a boat.
Yes.
And for the birthday and all
that
this
ticking
drama.
off part of the Wells Fargo stuff.
Yeah, but apparently they were just together because Wendy was able to get out and go see her dad's like 94th birthday or something.
Yeah. But that was like that was before 30 days ago because she said that she hadn't been outside for 30 days. But and then the other thing is that I don't know if it was her PR person or like a family member or whatever, but they leaked the story that she was in like a comatose state, that she was like mentally not there, and that she like Alzheimer's something was basically dying. And all of these like very unflattering photos of her.
I do remember the weird photos and her like stumbling and stuff like that.
Yes. And so everybody was like, oh my gosh, Wendy, now it makes sense. What's going on? But then she popped up last week doing an interview through her bougie prison. She was on the phone with this guy. Which, by the way, I would kill to do an interview like this. I just think it would be hysterical. Yeah. She's standing up at the window, slapping on the window, being like, I'm in here.
Crying and everything.
Yes. But then the best part of that interview, they're like talking about the conservatorship, that she wants to get out, all of this stuff. And then he asks her like random questions about celebrities because she hasn't been able to like comment on celebrities in so long. And he asks her about J-Lo. And she just basically for like 30 seconds just goes so hard on J-Lo for all of her awful marriages.
That sounds like something Wendy would do.
I know. It was great. So she's back. So I listened to that and I was like, oh, she's all there. She's like crazy as usual. Like
Wendy, she's the queen of just throwing shade. I mean, hence allegedly.
Yeah.
The queen of throwing shade, the queen of being messy. I used to watch her a little bit because it would always be on, like when I come home from school. Now seeing the conservatorship and stuff, all the stuff like that, it is concerning. Because one half is like, how did that happen? The other half is like, how do I make sure that doesn't happen to me?
And so, yes. In so many of those conservatorships, it seems like they go in one way and exit another. Britney Spears. Britney had issues beforehand, never really came back from the shaved head.
No.
But part of the conservatorship, there's a difference between a guardianship and a conservatorship. I would know this, unfortunately, due to my family and the fact that I'm involved in a guardianship. Not mine. I am somebody's. But with a guardianship, you can't force somebody to take meds. You can't force them to do, any kind of medical treatment. You are just there to be a support system. You can have access to their medical records. If they are an adult, you're there to basically like provide the safe boundaries that they need.
Like a godparent.
Yes.
But like legally.
Yes.
Like make sure they're good, they're safe to go. Like,
yeah, if they need things, doctors call you, whatever. You can advise and you can like push, and if you need to like push the state to make things happen, you can, but you don't have full authority over this individual's life. With a conservatorship, they can make Wendy take drugs.
It's
they
jail.
Can say, yes, they're like, you cannot leave this facility. We will medicate you like this. With Britney Spears, that's why there's this huge conspiracy, which feels real to me, that she was medicated to the point of like no return. The antipsychotics, like they will ruin your body.
It seems like a conspiracy, but you just go on her Instagram.
And then there's this whole argument of like, should she have been, like there's a lot of people, especially on the right, who were very against Britney getting out of her conservatorship. And they were like, so many things happen after the fact. But it was like, was that because she
what happened
got
in
out?
there.
Yes. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
I don't think many people know the effects of antipsychotics. I mean, it is like the most intense drugs, and why would they? But it's like the most intense drug that you can take. I've watched my brother, I was tweeting about this recently because a lot of people were talking about SSRIs. RFK Jr. wants to expose SSRIs, wants to do a bunch of studies on them, which I think is very, very healthy. And antipsychotics are like a step up, obviously, from that huge leap up. It's a very difficult thing to watch when somebody relies on those meds, but you
Yeah.
know how disastrous they can be. Like my brother has had like full body paralysis from these meds. He
Mhm.
has lost the ability to like speak and write and whatever because of the side effects. I mean, it's like in every single
And
one.
not even just that, but you add on all those layers of all the side effects and what
Yeah.
the drugs can do, but then, like, not leaving the house and like being in a jail.
Yeah.
That alone, COVID, hello.
Yeah.
COVID drove so many people crazy being stuck at home. Okay, now compound that with all the drugs. You're bound.
And it's very rare that you only take antipsychotics. Usually it is a
Oh,
cocktail of other things. Yeah.
cocktail.
And it's
like 10 to
just
20 pills.
And there are no lifestyle changes. That was something I was talking with Alex about.
That's the thing that frustrates me with the whole antidepressants, SSRIs.
Yeah.
It's like, you shouldn't be taking that as, okay, this is what's going to fix me forever. You should be doing, if you are on that, it's something you should be taking those, but in conjunction of like changing your lifestyle habits.
Yeah, and that should be the medical industry's responsibility to encourage that. And I think that's the main point of what RFK is doing in regards to SSRIs is like this should not be step one.
Mhm.
There should be other conversations that happen prior to that about your lifestyle, about the things that you're doing.
It's covering a symptom. It's
yeah,
like
exactly.
someone takes Tums for heartburn instead of figuring out what's giving them heartburn.
Yeah, I mean, you see videos of women after they give birth in hospitals and like the food that they're given, which is disgusting. And I think about the food, you know, my brother, I don't know if I think I talked about this recently on a live. Somebody had asked me about Reed, that's my brother. And I was talking about him because he had been in the hospital for 3 years straight.
Wow.
And part of it was like on the tail end of COVID. And so we couldn't see him and we didn't have access to him. But like thinking about the foods that he ate, and like there were no lifestyle changes. He was in a hospital for 3 years with these incredibly, incredibly high-powered drugs with awful side effects and no lifestyle changes. And now that he's out, it's like
And
you're
that
having
hospital
to...
food does not look the most nutritious.
No, well, it's not. It's like I look at it and I'm like, we spent 3 years and nothing changed. It was like that was prime opportunity in a confined, and I hate saying that, but a confined, controlled environment of like, this would be a great opportunity to encourage change, almost force it in a way because you're there.
You might as well.
Yeah. And it's just a missed opportunity for sure. Okay. Talking about insane families though, I need to go back to Elon Musk for a second. Do you know about his dad?
No.
His mother is very cool. Mae Musk.
Yes.
He's former model. Fantastic. Like very supportive of him. Beautiful. Seems very supportive of all the baby mamas. Like Siobhan, who's the most recent, not most recent because of Ashley, but like second to last. Yes. Like she posts pictures of the kids and May's like, oh, so sweet, whatever. Like my angels, whatever. So that's cute. The dad. So he and May get a divorce, marries another woman who has a daughter named Jana. I believe that's how you pronounce it. He gets in a relationship with his former stepdaughter. They have 2 children together. Elon Musk, yes.
Who has children with who?
Elon Musk's father has 2 children with his stepdaughter.
And he's fall far from the tree.
He's a South African politician. It makes sense when you put it all together. Like this man was never.
What age did they get married and stuff?
I actually don't know. Should I look it up?
Like, is this like a whole like? This sounds nasty.
It is.
It
it's like
illegal.
Like Woody Allen.
Why can't people just leave other people alone?
Well, they are leaving each other. They're keeping it in the family.
What, in the 1500s? I'm so over this. And all these.
Yeah, he was 45. And oh my gosh, wait, no, this is even crazier. He was 45. He married 25-year-old Heidi, raised her daughter Jana from the age of 4.
That's what I was thinking.
Raised it, and then in 2014, reconnected years later.
Oh no.
And sparked a romantic relationship after he helped her, quote, get over a breakup.
No, this is the case for the FBI.
Yeah, Errol Musk raised Jana Bezuidenhout from the age of 4.
You know what?
It's like, so now I think I already had this opinion. Looking at Elon Musk, it's like, if you're getting asked out by him, if he's saying, I want to, like, apparently he, like, slides into girls' DMs and is like, want to have a kid? Like, want to help me want to repopulate? You know that you're not getting the king of the nuclear family, not an engaged father. Scale back even more. The evidence is all there.
What pisses me off is that, by all means, like, you can have your own viewpoints, whatever. Like, we treat each other with respect. It's fine. But there's so many people that find issue with me being a gay male that's literally minding my business with my husband, my dog, working, traveling, not bothering anybody. And straight people are out here wilding, acting a fool, having 13 kids, 5 baby mamas, repopulating the earth, creating broken homes. It's like, why am I the issue? I'm not bothering anybody. I'm not doing anything to nobody. I'm minding my. Are some gays a problem? Yes. We'll get into that, the whole like LGBT.
That's why it's
and,
not
like,
about the sexuality. It is about the individual and the
Yes.
insane choices they make across the board. We should be able to say, this is insane behavior, this is unhealthy, this is inappropriate. Don't
Yes.
do that around kids. A lot of straight
Just
people do
call out
things
the
that are
insane behavior, but to get on me just for being a gay male is like actually wild when the sheer amount of straights acting a plum fool.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's just it.
Well, I feel like you also end up in a unique position, and you can talk about this, of like, you know, you are a gay conservative, and there are a lot of conservatives who do not, you know,
Oh yeah.
respect you and your lifestyle choices, whatever
Mhm.
you're doing, even though you are minding your own business, doing you, doing your husband. Sorry. But you also don't identify with the LGBTQ
No,
community because they're also insane.
they're insane. And I remember when came out the closet, when I was outed out the closet and after sent to conversion therapy, the whole nine. I flew out the closet. Like I thought I had to be what I was saying, what gay was on TV, and what I thought it was supposed to be. Like I have to download Grindr, I have to like love all the drag queens and act super flamboyant, this, that, and the third. When it's okay to just be yourself. You know, there's so many other gay people out there who don't realize that they can just exist like a straight person. You can just be yourself and it's fine. And it's frustrating now where you were seeing the rise of people just like not caring about gay people. And now like the hate is going up because of the TQ plus, and they just tacked on to the whole LGBTQ plus community. And now
Giving everybody a bad rap.
being tagged along with like all these like trans kids and drag queens in schools. And I have nothing to do with that. Nothing at all. I'm minding my business. A lot of gays are. A lot of the LGB, which is sexuality, and then the TQ plus, which is identity. You're telling me they're separate, then separate them. Why am I being tagged along about this? And it is interesting being like having like my viewpoints, but also being gay. And then like at the end of the day, I'm always pissing off somebody. Like,
Which is why you're so great, because you don't care. And the other thing that's wonderful about you and your content is that regardless of the hate that you get, you always approach things, and you've been a great influence on me, and I think you're always somebody who I like go back to and I like tap into that
Appreciate it.
because you are kind of lodged in the middle of all of this stuff, is that you approach everything with genuine empathy and looking to understand rather than change minds.
Yeah, that's my biggest thing is I want to make sure I'm meeting people where they're at. 'Cause I'm not gonna act like I wasn't there. I'm not gonna act like I wasn't in the streets marching with BLM crying. As delusional as that was, like I get it.
Yeah.
I was out there crying. I thought my life was in danger being a black male. My anxiety was at an all-time high because I really thought I was gonna get shot and killed by police. And I'm more likely to get struck by lightning than shot by a cop. And like in terms of being gay, like I always thought that I had to be the stereotype of what being gay is. Sure, I may still have my lisp and my hands flying, my limp is wrists flying everywhere. I get it. But you don't have to jump into this whole like gay community. And I don't care what hate is thrown my way. I'm always keeping in mind that we are in a better place. And there's so many people that act like we're not. And it's so frustrating on both ends, from the hot button issues in America, black and gay. On the black side of things, it's like I know what my ancestors went through. I know what my papa went through. I know there's a big ass tree out in your front yard. More than likely have my little cousin swinging from it. Let's be real. I'm not living in that life right now.
I can't even.
I'm genuinely not. There's so many bones underneath us of like my ancestors that's out here on this plantation. And to think that I'm gonna sit here and bitch and moan about how bad America is and how racist it is, that's so disrespectful to them. When I'm their dream, I get paid to talk to a fucking camera. They couldn't even speak. Like, that's ludicrous. And then on the flip side of being gay, my uncle died in the AIDS epidemic in the 80s. Like, he went through all that horrible stuff. You couldn't even be out. And that's why I say, yeah, being gay is rising, but also I'm not getting killed for being gay. And that was a thing back then. Like, that was a thing of like gay people actually marrying lesbians. And they were living their separate lives, but they were a straight couple together. Yeah.
No, those are coming back.
I mean,
That's like a whole. There was this couple that went viral like 2 months ago, and it's this gay man and a lesbian woman, and they're like, yeah, we're getting married, and they said they're soulmates, but they're also attracted to each other.
I see how I'm making a video now reacting to Michael Knowles and being surrounded by the LGBTQ, and he said that if you are gay, maybe you still should get married. Like, no. But yeah, I'm always just gonna keep it being real and keep being like with coming from a place of empathy.
Yeah.
Because I was once there. I get it. It's frustrating, but it's also frustrating to know the sheer amount of pain and turmoil that people who, literally me, black and gay, went through, and to act like I'm still going through all that hurt and crime. It's just not happening.
Now, you all know that I am a big advocate for our Second Amendment rights, and I believe in being prepared and being responsible when it comes to firearms. But let's be honest, shooting can be loud, it can be sometimes uncomfortable, and that is why I want to tell you about my friends over at Silencer Shop. And yes, guys, silencers are totally legal, and Silencer Shop makes getting one easier than ever. They offer the largest selection of top brand suppressors that make your shooting experience quieter, safer, and way more enjoyable. Whether you are hitting the range or out hunting, a suppressor can make a world of difference. And don't worry about the paperwork, I know that there's a lot of it, they have got you covered. Silencer Shop simplifies the entire process, making it hassle-free so that you can get your suppressor from the comfort of your own home. I don't have to leave this chair to get my silencer. Plus, approvals are coming back faster than ever, so there's no better time to get started. But the best part is, Silencer Shop isn't just about selling suppressors. They are fighting the good fight for our gun rights. In these unpredictable times, it is crucial to support companies that stand up for the Second Amendment, and that is what Silencer Shop is doing. They are actively lobbying, battling in courtrooms, and pushing back against anti-gun legislation nationwide. So if you want to enhance your shooting experience and support a company that is fighting for your rights, head on over to Silencer Shop to get started today. And trust me, they are the easiest and best way to get your suppressor. So upgrade your guns today with Silencer Shop. Do you think the victimization and the need for attention, especially with the T's and the Q's, which is the LGBTQ community in general, comes from a place of like a lack of confidence?
I think it's a lack of confidence and also wanting to join the club, because I feel like every generation has their own thing.
Yeah.
Like the goth, the emo scene, like the MySpace scene, like in 2006, 7. Now we're seeing like being non-binary and pansexual, and it's like a club almost.
People put on these identities like it's a costume.
Yeah, literally.
Well, they like a lot of people literally
And
do.
it's like you immediately join, you immediately get to be a minority. You immediately,
which is special.
Yeah, it's special. I'm part of a club. I'm discriminated
But I do wonder if that
against.
comes from a place of, I just did a whole episode about like Gen Z loneliness, and millennials and Gen Zs are, especially Gen Z, are historically isolated, historically lonely, and every generation has been lonely. But it's like with COVID, with the insurgence of technology, and the fact that we were literally raised online, it's just very different, and all of our social norms were completely disrupted by this like technological
It's totally being
revolution.
lonely. Like it's LGBT. Like when people
you
talk about
find
the
your
LGBTQ
group.
community, it's LGBT. I just said it. LGBTQ
Community, yeah.
And people want to join that and be a part of a community because they're so lonely, and that's why so many people diving to the non-binary. It's the easiest thing to do without doing anything. You can be non-binary and still be a straight woman.
Except I have a friend, old friend of mine from LA, who went so far as to get top surgery, left bottom, microdose testosterone to physically be. It's hard. I know, and it's just like
And
heartbreaking.
at that point, that's where like I do understand like body dysmorphia is real.
Yeah.
But how common it's becoming is very concerning, especially with the
Also,
rise of people detransitioning.
Yes, and with it being the immediate solution rather than going back to the SSRIs of like it's the Band-Aid solution, but it is a Band-Aid solution you can't come back from.
Gender
it's not
affirming
like
therapy, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Affirming?
'Cause if
What's the
you
point of therapy?
feel-
To talk through something. You're not
Yes.
talking through anything. You're guiding me down. It's how do you affirm? Like that sounds crazy.
because up until just a couple of years ago, this was in the DSM as a psychological condition, as something that you would work through. Obviously, because if you are like 20 years ago, if somebody came into a therapist's office and said, I want to cut off my body parts, I want to cut off my ding-along and my boobs and whatever, that would be like, oh my gosh, let's handle this. And let's figure out what is the root cause here. And let's help you, because that's not healthy, nor is that, you can't have a fulfilled, good, healthy life if you're walking through hating yourself and wanting to cut off your body parts.
These kids are just gay.
They might be gay, but they're also kids going through puberty.
No one likes puberty.
That's why the amount of kids who transition, the majority of them are girls.
They want to put a puberty block. Puberty, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I would assume puberty for girls is way worse
Yeah.
than puberty for guys.
Well, I'm sure it's like they're bad in different ways, but again, nobody likes it. But for girls, I think that there is this like, your body's changing. Some like develop sooner than you. Like I remember being this like weird ugly duckling, and I matured faster, but I was like a a green bean, and I had this awful like bowl cut with bangs, and I looked so ugly and was so weird, but I was like tall, and suddenly I was like developing, and everything was so weird, and I was like, I just want to cover up, and this is so awful, and it's so
Yeah.
uncomfortable, and I was like sort of getting attention from guys, but also not, and there were girls of my age that were like voluptuous and like engaging their
Mm-hmm.
sexuality, and everything is confusing, especially with the growth of social media, and you see these 15-year-olds that are made up to the
Look
nines,
grown.
and not even just like pageant queens of, whatever, when you kind of do that was a caricature, literally look grown, are getting boob jobs before they're 18. All of this stuff, it's completely destroyed childhood, because at 15 you are still a child.
Yeah.
Puberty is supposed to be awkward. It is supposed to be uncomfortable. It is an awful time, and we have taken these kids who are obviously uncomfortable in their bodies.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you're trans.
You can pause it. You're fine.
Yeah.
You can pause it. Or
Pause
you may
it,
be
lie
trans,
to
whatever. That's the sad part, is all
Yeah.
these kids being taken advantage of.
Rather than holding their hands through it and going, you're going through what every other human being on
Mhm.
earth has gone through.
And I feel
You're not
so
special.
bad. I feel so bad for all, like, again, like the young gays. Because even for me, when I found out or realized that I was gay in 5th grade, I was like, damn, am I supposed to be a girl? So I knew girls like dudes.
Mhm.
I was like, oh, maybe I am supposed to be a girl. And that, to me, it's almost like these parents that are transing their kids, that's the real homophobia.
Mhm.
Because instead of saying, hey, maybe you're just gay, let's wait till like you're an adult to make some changes, you see a flamboyant boy or a boy that's gay, like, actually, like, you're a girl.
Yeah.
Let's just go ahead and completely change you. Just let the kid
And
be
they
a
also
kid.
want to be part of the community
Yeah.
and the club.
In the clout. You get
It's like
paid.
the
People get
celebrities.
paid.
Yeah, the celebrities who are like, oh, all my daughter, I have 2 trans daughters, and all their
Who's that?
friends are.
Which celebrity is that has all the trans
Is
kids?
that Celine? Charlize Theron. Is that one?
And
No,
is
no.
it Brad Pitt's kids that are trans?
No, actually. Well, that is actually a great example. Okay, so Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie, their daughter Shiloh,
Mm-hmm.
dressed up, major tomboy, dressed
I
up
remember
as a
that.
boy for years. Never transitioned. Everybody always wondered. She reminded me of like myself. Like she had this like bowl cut. She would wear like big baggy cargo pants,
Mhm.
whatever. Randomly, like a year and a half ago, maybe she showed up at a premiere with Angelina in a full dress, looking absolutely stunning.
That's how
And
it
they let
should
her
be.
grow up. They let her grow up. They let her grow through it. Dress how you want.
So I feel like if that was like, take that what was happening, put that in today's time frame, maybe it would have been trans.
Yeah.
Or like put on puberty blockers, but instead just let the child be like just
Yeah.
explore through life and boom.
The person that I was thinking of, I don't remember. I know who you are thinking of with like where all of their kids are trans, but the one that I was
Yeah.
thinking of is the redheaded woman from Sex and the City. And she has, I think, like 2 trans kids, and then she was up speaking after Trump was elected. She was like, I am like these trans, you're attacking them, whatever, like holding onto this microphone crying. She was
It's
like,
like Dwayne Wade.
they're all like, yes! Dwayne Wade used to be Alex's favorite basketball player, and now he's like burning all of his Dwayne Wade jerseys. There's this family on YouTube. I think that they might be in the UK, and it's this dad.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Dad and the little
It's
tiny
a
boy.
little weird. Not
Oh,
even
it's-
a little weird. It's
100, and you've watched it
been-
over like 4 years.
it's been documented from like the age of I think 2.
Yeah.
Obviously, because the boy had a bigger sister and was just following what the big sister is doing.
Yep.
Which is fine, whatever. You're a little boy and like you have a son, and the son has an older sister and like playing with the heels or getting dressed
Yeah.
up, whatever. It's at home, but
Yeah.
to put that on TikTok,
Yep.
make a YouTube vlogs
And make yourself the center of it. That's the weird. I mean, all of it is weird, like putting
Yeah.
your kids online, whatever. But the dad is like,
that money.
yes, and loves the attention and all of the like thunderous applause. Like,
It's
you're such an
disgusting.
amazing dad, and you're like, I wish my father had been like you, and you're so inclusive, whatever. And it's like you are.
Literally groomed down the pathway.
Yeah.
Of transitioning instead of just living. It's almost like if I had to choose between like a non-binary and a trans, it's like I almost choose non-binary.
Okay, with all of this stuff going on in the world, and you talk about it on your channel all the time, but what are your hopes for young people right now with all of this freaking insanity?
My hopes for young people is that they take more control of their own narrative in their life and they don't allow themselves to be led. By all means, I'm very appreciative of support. I'm sure you are too. And I'm grateful that people trust me and, watch my channel, come for me for news, whatever it may be. But that they even fact check me,
Mhm.
that they're thinking for themselves and that they're not allowing themselves to be led by any mainstream media, corporation, institution, influencer, doesn't matter. I want everybody to think for themselves, get the news for themselves, and at the end of the day, really understand why they feel the way they feel. Don't regurgitate some talking point because you heard it online. Don't say, I feel this way because Brett thinks this way, because Amir thinks this way. Feel that way for yourself. If it's on par with me, sure. Like, that's
Yep.
great. I love that.
Or let it be like a launching pad is always what I say.
Yeah.
Like, or a touchstone.
Yeah. Like, let it motivate you, inspire you, but understand and know why you feel or think a certain way. Because for so many years, I grew up, it drove me to the brink of depression, of being just told, you're black, you have to act a certain way. You're gay, you have to act a certain way. And that wasn't me. And it's still a problem now in today's age of, oh, you're not black enough, so you don't have your black card, and you're a coon, Uncle Tom, this, that, and the third. None of that matters. Literally, I just want more people to just be themselves and understand that they're allowed to do that. Like, whether it doesn't matter your race or sexuality, but specifically for black people out there, gay people out there, you don't have to subscribe to the narrative of, oh, you have to be a Democrat. Oh, you have to be part of the LGBTQ community. You can just be you.
How do you get the confidence to block out a lot of that and block out that pressure and the noise from people that want to box you in?
Because I know at the end of the day, people are going to talk crap about you until the day you die. It does not matter where you're at in life. People are going to talk crap about you. Adding to that, it's like there's this element of like, I don't know, when it came to the point of me taking my own life, I had to sit there in that moment and really think, how am I going to sit here and not be who I want to be, not be my authentic self, not, express my views just because someone else doesn't want me to? When there's clear examples of people out there in life doing exactly what they want to do. If someone can be super rich and come crashing down and be super poor, if someone super poor can get their life together and become super rich, not necessarily that money matters, but that just shows me that you really can be anything you want to be in this world. And so the confidence just comes from just knowing that it doesn't matter. I don't know how else to put it. It really does not matter what anyone else thinks about you. As long as you're not hurting anybody, like causing physical harm to yourself or others, or not like, and you're staying in your lane and you have tunnel vision, you're focusing on your goals and dreams, that's what matters the most to me. And I'm not going to let anyone stop me from becoming the best version of myself, because I am the poster child of every statistic of, a typical black person of like no father, poor, homeless, the whole nine. My life could have gone in one direction if I subscribed to the narratives and didn't believe in myself and didn't push towards my actual dreams and goals. But if everybody just did that,
I also think something that you've done that I think a lot of people can learn from, and I hope they see in you, kind of touches on what you just said, but keeping your head down and focusing on the things that are important to you and your goals, that inherently allows you to block out a lot of the noise.
Oh, yeah.
If you're focused on your work and what you care about in the world and making yourself a better person and breaking through stereotypes, being the person that breaks the patterns in your family, which has always been my number one goal. Like, I always thought about, like, I'm not going to be, just another, like, notch in the belt. I'm not going to do what my family's done. It makes it very easy not to care. Yeah.
And reminding to yourself, like, it's called going through it for a reason. Like, you're going through it. You're not stuck there. You're going to survive. Like, whatever season you're in is just a season. It's temporary, and your life is going to get better. You just have to have your mindset on this goal that you have for yourself of being great and pursuing whatever it is that you have in life that you want to pursue. But you're not going to be that if you're constantly surrounding yourself around negativity, constantly thinking and believing the gaslighting that may be coming your way from various family or friends. You have to instill in yourself that trust and that power that you can achieve the things you want to achieve. And you have to block out other people in the process. Like, you can't be distracted with other people's mindset. You can't be distracted what so-and-so is going to think about you. It's so sad. There's so many people living a broken life because they're not doing the things they want to do, and they're not being vocal about themselves. That's why I feel like there's so many midlife crises. I'm not going to have a midlife crisis. I'm living my life. I'm looking forward to being 45. Everyone's like, oh, your best life is in your 20s. That's disgusting. Like, how is your best life in your 20s? That are you just setting the rest of your life up for failure? No. I'm excited for 45. I'm excited for 50 because I know life is still going to be amazing. But if you fall down this rat race and this trap of caring so much about what other people think, you don't want to disappoint your family, you don't want to disappoint your friends, you're never going to be fulfilled. And I don't want that for anyone out there.
Well, that's why your content is so great, because it's not just about politics and about cultural issues. I was actually asked that. I was doing something with the New York Times yesterday, and she was really honing in on, she was like, I just feel like, you don't, like, you're political, but you're not political. And I was like,
Right.
because I don't care about the political wins. You talk about, making people better and inspiring them. I was like, well, that's really what it's
Like,
about.
Amir, you're so political. I'm really not.
Yeah.
Like, it's just talking about life and culture and wanting the best for everybody out there.
Well, that's why people respond to you. And why you're going to keep growing.
And you too. Hello. Because, like, a lot of people, how do we meet? That's the most funniest thing to me.
Oh, yes. It's funny that we're ending it. We should have started with this. So I was alone and sad at UCLA and had no friends because I just told them I wasn't voting for Bernie or Biden. And in the primaries, I was like, I'm actually going the other direction. And I had gotten in contact with PragerU in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom had found you on Instagram and was like, you
Love
need
mama.
to be friends with Amir Odom. This is like the greatest guy. She loved all
It
of
was
your
like
slides.
2019, 2020.
It was the beginning of 2020.
Yeah.
And you flew out to LA for the premiere of Will Witt's
Yeah, some
environmental
movie,
documentary for
something,
PragerU.
yeah.
And the reason I went was to meet you.
Insane.
Yeah. I had a little like orange sundress. I was like, I'm going to go meet Amir.
I can't
And
believe
we
you have that picture. That is so crazy to me.
Yes. And yeah, we became friends ever since. I remember like DMing you and being like, I really like your work. And then, yeah, we stayed in touch. And then Daily Wire moved me out to Nashville. And I knew that you were living in Franklin at the time, but I wasn't exactly sure. And so I DM'd you and we went to North Italia.
And like, just seeing the work that you've put in and how hard you've worked. Oh my, I can get emotional. It's just so crazy. I'm just so proud of you. Like what you've built for yourself, what you've done, what you've accomplished, and how consistent you've been throughout all this. Even back to 20, you're the same damn Brett. Like super loving, super kind, super sweet. And if anything, you're just so much stronger and resilient. And I'm just proud of you.
That means so much coming from you. And I would say the same to you on an even bigger level because you've literally done it by yourself from day one, which is just so impressive. You're going to keep growing. But I was going to say, I think that one thing that is a unique value to what we do is that, at least in my perspective, I feel like I make myself better every single time I get behind the camera and talk about a new story. Because it's like, I'm not going to sit here and be so hypocritical and like tell people, oh, I think this is how you should live your life if I'm not evaluating that on a daily basis. Yeah. It's like the stories that both of us cover and the research we do, it makes me smarter. It makes me more interested about the world. It's my favorite thing.
It's so much
about
fun.
This. It's like I feel like I'm a much better person than I was 3 years ago.
A Beyoncé lyric because it relates to everything. She has a song called Bigger. She has a song called Bigger. Okay. In the song, she's like talking about how I'm not just preaching, I'm taking my own advice. Like I'm going through all of this too. And then you're so on par every time I turn on that camera. Every time I make a piece of content, my main goal is to leave someone better. This is it. And in turn, I feel better.
Yeah.
I'm just...
Because if you turn on the camera and you are not being 100% you, or if you're lying about something, I mean, you feel like...
You're so disgusting.
So I know.
I don't know how people do it.
I think that's one of the reasons why it was so important to me to, make this big career switch. Because it was like, if I'm talking to people constantly about swinging for the fences and taking big risks in their lives and fighting for what you believe in and, betting on yourself, and I'm sitting here and I'm telling young people, like, take that risk, do the thing that scares you. It's like, I was looking around me and I was like, oh my God, I have to, like, it's my turn now. It's cool that that you guys hold us accountable in an awesome way.
It is. And I'm so grateful for the support and the love.
Everybody go follow Amir and subscribe to his channel. Maybe we can get you to 600.
Oh my gosh.
Very soon.
Great. That'd be great. I'm so excited.
Thank you for coming.
Insane. Thank you for having me.
This was so much fun.
We need to do it again. This is great.
We can just start a daytime show. We're going to replace Wendy Williams.
I'm down. Boom.
Bye, guys.
Are we really doing the episode like this?
I need to self-promote.
Okay.
Alex told me I don't promote myself enough.
That sounds like some shit he'd say.
I know. BrettCooperShop.com if you want our awesome hats and our awesome hoodie.
It'll make you feel straight.
There you go. This is the second Brett Cooper merch promo you've been required to be in.
I love it.
Good.
I feel like very macho. I like the green too. Green's my favorite color.
Well, you can keep it.
Please.
Hope you guys like the merch.
Cooper Trooper.